Hello, can you hear me? I guess I got my camera here. Boom, there we go. I was gonna say start in the Carpoon Discord, but probably no one will be here because I took too long. Sorry, that's the way it goes. Have nothing to do, then all of a sudden two things at once. And this week, I want to work on a new hat. That was in the thumbnail, and so we added the scarlet bow. I'll show you for my friend's birthday. I now have too many windows open where I can't see anything. Let's take a quick look at that. And I was working on feedback to make it easier to keep track of the players recently. That was something I saw from recent sort of group meeting. Excuse me. Let's dive in, take a look. Start button. Start screen. I made the player controls bigger. Something that's a little. People are having a bit of trouble reading on my laptop. Now this week on Thursday, I will play UFO 50 when it's out. Fortunately, that game is only $25. It's one thing I was doing, like I'm player one on the controller right now, but I was going to try to make it so, well, I did make it so if you're player two and there isn't player one yet, you will start in the second spot. Make it easier. Let me bring different controllers out to make it easier. So this one's player three. Third spot. So hopefully that'll make it easier for people. Now, so one of my friends, Chris, he asked for hats at one point. I was like, But having it so players have trouble keeping track of themselves, playing Star Wars over the years with its hilarious hats, and I want to do a better cameo for my friends. There's the bow, and that'll make it more possible for hats. I don't know where I'll put it in. Like where the option will be for hats, or it'll just be random. Maybe, probably could be bottom corner. And yeah, I'll do that. But one thing I have to dive into code is that the colors aren't saving all the time. Like if I load in now, we'll see if the colors work. Hi, Brandon. Doing well, except for this Carpoon error. This is the color out of range. But no, feeling better today, too. I was pretty tired yesterday. Today, I feel a bit more refreshed. I slept way too long at 10 hours. And I think I'll be drawing a hat first. But I'll save that error. Because basically, I want to get Carpoon ready in case there's a chance to show it at Full Indie Summit. I don't think so. That's this weekend. And also, like some of the feedback I had about saving colors, I might be able to meet that person and show them, hey, I did your feedback. So, without further ado, let me try to find all my Carpoon notes. Where is it? So, I think basically Carpoon, this is like kind of what I have to do here. And one thing I fixed too is that the physics no longer, the physics turn off on the Harpoon, but they break. But anyway, Brandon, that was great art you showed me the other day. How are you doing? You got Doing well over there, I hope. And hello, Oscar. Team Past 1. Yeah, that's kind of showing for Splatoon that people might have had the most nostalgia for the first characters being the most unique at the time. Or just something people hadn't seen before. But yeah, that's it for Splatfest. I really was playing more Dark Souls on the weekend. Anyway, let me see. Oh, there's that's what I was working on. Let's see here. Can I'll have to open up the hat and I'll show you the new hat idea I want to work on. Oh, Brandon, you've been drawing and playing a couple of games. No, that's great in drawing. Always happy for that. Yeah. What games have you been playing? Oh, Nintendo announced some big run events. Some Splatfest seasons events will be repeated. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you still kind of get a new, or like if you missed it, you can do it again, and it doesn't require more work for them. Okay, this is the hard part. When you get so many files and you're trying to find the file with the new change. No, but for streaming here, I thought it's still a good way to show some of the things I'm working on. And let me see if I can show you this problem with the harpoon that I have to basically fake. I'm gonna have to maybe fake harpoons so when they're not being shot, that the harpoons are drawn separately, like a fake placeholder, because to get rid of these physics on it, that the harpoon was basically sticking. Whoa, still a problem. Okay, it was sticking onto signs and getting caught away from the player. So I thought of another way to fix it. Sometimes you have to fake game development. Basically, is the long story short. I'll put this over here. It's Brandon. Is your internet good enough for Nintendo Switch, like playing Nintendo Switch online? That's my question. Alright, this is I want to draw more frames of this moose hat today. That's what I want to do. And maybe a regular trucker hat. We'll draw it first. You get to see all the different little frames. And I'll shift over to the drawing tablet. I kind of drew one frame quickly for the thumbnail. let's head over. Oscar, you're a moderator of 7 different Twitch streamers. Well, no wonder, like, you always come to so many of them. I can only guess. If you're coming here, I'm sure you're going to many more. Well, that's neat. Keeping people in line. So far, fortunately, no moderation needed here. Maybe that's a bad sign, though. Maybe if it was bigger, there would be. There we go, the old drawing tablet. Can you even see that? Yeah, it's kind of a drawing tablet in front of me. And I'll have to shift. My microphone doesn't even reach. It's funny. Okay. Let me let's shift to drawing. One day I'll get this all set up with hotkeys. That'll probably be easier. So Oscar, you're getting the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom for Switch. If you leave for 1 second, you come back to a moose hat. You never know what will happen. Except I did put the moose hat in the thumbnail, but I had too many crash bugs. That's kind of what I wanted to set on. Maybe I'll fix them later. So, Oscar, I'll say I did play Echoes of Wisdom at PAX, I guess for 15 minutes, and it did surpass expectations. So, I don't know if I'll get it right away, though, because I would like to beat Dark Souls. That's me being greedy. Let's see, what is it? It was that one. There we go. That's kind of what it looks like now. We got to draw another one where the hard part is always making something look the same twice. No, Oscar, you're getting Zelda. I'm going to get in Can't Wait to Sleep on a Bed during boss battles. Oh, you got to do that. That'd be a great meme. Or people have probably done that already, but you kind of stand on the beds in Echoes of Wisdom. But yeah, I was definitely stacking a whole bunch of beds to get to places. They're handy. They take 2 tiles. So this is number 11. One thing I always find in Photoshop is like the timeline, having it open, and then if you press space quickly, it plays, but if you hold space, it's panned. That's kind of a fine line that I was looking. You can't adjust it. It's like a dumb thing in Photoshop that should be fixed by now. So to make this easier, let's go like this. No, but with Zelda next week, I'll see, but probably, like, I might play it. But I am just looking forward to UFO 50 this week. That's one I looked forward for many more years, playing it at PAX before the pandemic. With Carpoon, currently, I'd say, yeah, I've unfortunately broken a few things. And sometimes I'm thinking, like, it's nice to hop around to different things. But when you break something and leave it, it's no fun. Or I was pretty tired, and sometimes doing something like dealing with arrays and wondering on the colors, do I have to go back and change everything, like just redo it so it's good now? Not like the way I initially said it, that just barely worked, like Mr. Burns' health type situation. it's kind of tiring when it's not something that's fun. Now, something that is fun is thinking of adding bosses in. So I did. This is like the monster truck underneath, completing those frames finally. So I might complete frames for that tiki truck on the volcano island, and then I could maybe have bosses in each level. Well, everyone's excited for Zelda. Plucky Squire also came out today. That one is 39 Canadian though. It's a premium, near premium indie game price. You had gold point. You had enough gold points to get Plucky Squire. But that's a good question. Like, I wish Steam had gold points. I would definitely have it if I had Steam points like that. I use so many on. I don't buy so many games on Switch just because I left it, so I have to type in my password every time, and then you have to type it in twice. So that's, and also having both Joy-Cons in bad condition right now, or one of them. Like both my two left Joy-Cons are bad. It's kind of puts me off buying Switch games. I think like on Steam, I got Feed the Deep recently, and that's only $8. That's made by the creator of Fruit Ninja. Yeah, it's a hassle for sure. Like, I just made it so buying Switch games takes more than 5 seconds of thought. Gotta really want it. Yeah, pretty much lately I've just been playing Dark Souls and Shovel Knight Dig. Aside from when we had the Splatoon and the meetup 2 weekends ago. One thing I did too, I added for the bow with Scarlet, I added eyelashes. Just make the brush thicker. But they kind of scale differently. I just put them on top of the eyes. Maybe I should create a new image it swaps to. Okay, it's gonna go a different frame and just yeah, Plucky Squire is ambitious probably with its different areas, probably different gameplay styles. Yeah, I made it so you can harpoon now the shoes and the bow on the side for the Scarlet cameo. Gotta say thank you to Yerk for his support and encouragement over the years. Now, if you have any hat suggestions, what were the? I'll read the hats I was thinking of. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, where are the hat ideas I had? Okay, I thought of, besides the moose antlers, a trucker hat and a toque. I think a trucker hat and a toque kind of covers everything. what would a trucker hat? That would kind of be just a more. Depends how big it. Like this is kind of small, and I have thought about how the harpoon goes directly above it. But so it then I thought, well, there's a crown at times when you're in first place, and that gets in the way of the toe arm. So what does it matter? Yeah, well, the toque would be like toque would be easier. Like, I guess it'd have to be maybe changing when the truck's moving. Propeller. So I thought about the propeller hat, and then it's like, would it have a mode when you go over a jump? And like, let's say you keep flying longer, and you'd have to press the honk button to land back on the ground. Like it could actually be a modifier hat. See, that's where it's like it starts getting to be too much. Like imagine if everyone used a propeller hat. Like it'd be like Odd Job in GoldenEye. You just fly around and not get harpooned by people. No, that's not. Like a toque. Yeah, it's kind of like a Santa hat, but. That'd be the easy way to do that. Propeller hat, let's see, that'd be. That's just a circle, and then you just have to do the motion lines around it. The thing with these hats, like, they're really small at a low size. They'd have to be kind of, which is good in a way to make it easier to draw and not have to worry about it, but bad in that they could be hard to see. And something I think about too, the silhouette of the hat. Without if the silhouette changes, like with the antlers, maybe that makes it easier for them to see. Well, this propeller hat, if I moved it up, yeah, I'd have to go up quite a lot to change the silhouette. Could be comically small. Yeah. They kind of are. But okay, you suggested it, and I've been thinking about it, so we'll consider a propeller hat. It could be fun to have it so it keeps trucks flying longer. Despite the coding regularly. So Brandon, you were saying you were thinking about making a game. Don't you have some game ideas already? Have you ever thought about what you would program them in? Yeah, it'll go so that high. finding the moose antlers kind of tricky to make him look 3D. That's where I started doing like that, where they overlap each other. Oh yeah, it's learning how to make games again. For the GMTK Game Jam, to just get a quick start, I did a asteroids tutorial just to have a template set in, because there's so much stuff in Carpoon that, and it's been so long since I did the initial setup that I just wanted to do a 15-minute tutorial so it's easier. But then I realized I could have just had 2 GameMaker windows open and copied stuff over as a template. I guess Godot is free if you want to try that one. I believe it's free. Many tutorials for that now. Oh, no, plate. I hate that. So I find now so you could stick to GameMaker Studio 2, so you have that. Well, that's a good one. But so that's Game Boy Studio. Is GB Studio Game Boy Studio? I say the advantage of Game Boy Studio is that then you're limited to small pixel art. And maybe that'll help streamline things. Oh, Carpoon Crew. Okay, it's actually quite nifty. Oh, that's neat. I would say just make small games or try making a very small game. That'll get you back into it. Okay, Oscar, that's interesting to use Amiibo to relive the Grand Festival. It did look like they put some extra effort into that. I'll admit, I kind of missed Splatoon on the weekend because I went salmon fishing with my friend on Sunday. Did not catch any salmon. Okay, so Browning said you can export it to flashcards. Yeah, you can have an easy to, if it actually runs on Game Boy, it's very easy to hand it to people to try. Although maybe, well, I guess it would probably test fine in emulation. And yeah, that's the way to go. Just small projects first. I mean, a small project can be a passion project. It just doesn't have to be like a dream project. Yeah, Game and Watch games is a great idea. Okay, this antler, I think on the bottom has to come out. is like trying to get the 3D antler effect. I always flip to see how broken it is. Oh no. I'll finish this and I'll try the propeller hat next. We'll mock that up. Maybe we'll mock up the different hats I want to do. And then cry about broken Carpoon right now. After I get the colors saving, I'll probably update the itch.io and Steam versions. That should be a goal to do this week. I think my keyboard is getting old. Thinking about what game and watch games there are, like I always get stuck on the ones with like Donkey Kong, because that was at my dentist's office. Not so many of the ones with actual Mr. Game & Watch. Let's see, just a little bit more depth here and that'll be good. the frames coming up. Um, It's pretty close. I think it just has to be a little bit smaller. Smaller in these parts of the antlers. This one bigger. Yeah, I'll just do the ink for this, and then we'll move on to the propeller hat. Whoa, that got a weird edge. Have I loosened up for smoother lines? Maybe not yet. Let's try backwards. Ah, that was pretty good. I think one thing I saw going through tutorials is this Pose Maniacs site, where you get these 30-second poses to try to quickly recreate, almost like with a stick man, but it's kind of fun challenge. I was watching a video recently that went on about making your backgrounds not too busy in a game. And it's kind of interesting, like maybe for the longest time I added too much details to things, and the way I got around it was coloring the stroke outlines for less important details. That way, once it's a black stroke like this, they stand out for the players, but things in the background have a colored stroke and they kind of blend in more. But still, I probably should have had less detail in certain areas of Carpoon. I do think that while I'm working on the smaller little things at the end here, that trying to create some bosses is something fun to shift gears at times. No. At what angle am I at? It's definitely a little a little thicker than the other one, but You know, probably at the small size, it might just have to do. Sometimes I just create a swatch while doing this sort of thing. That'd be like if I went that's kind of easier to grab all the colors. And have a general idea which one's which. Sometimes there's like so many shades in the truck, it's hard to keep up. Okay, let's see examples of propeller hat. We'll do that. Then maybe quickly do baseball hat 2, and then go back to seeing if I can get Carpoon not broken. It's my one hand typing. Okay, it looks like a lot of propeller hats have a hat brim. They're not like... I thought it was just like a small little cap without that. So... because that would be fairly easy to like have the trucker hat and then just modify it for that one, although it could do a flat brim trucker hat. Deleting all the frames now, so it's a bit easier. This one's good here, right? Yeah, okay. That would be tricky to draw the hat brim at all the different angles, but we'll see. No. When Photoshop does that, sometimes you have to restart. Hopefully it's okay. So definitely it would be easier to angle it downwards, but like you could like angle the propeller behind it. I think I'll stick with downwards. One thing about this hat, it would be an animated hat. Oh, the scope on this propeller hat continues to grow. Draw a couple of wind lines and I'll be all set. Okay, let's try to finish. Create a layer for the base, and then the propeller on top can be separate. Then I don't have to worry about affecting it. Oh, I see. Probably like not quite. That's going to be tricky. But probably no one will see that at small size. I gotta remember that in game it's like that big tops. This will do separate because this is just color and I won't actually need these lines to separate the colors after. Okay, the actual propeller, let's see. You kind of need one frame where it's not spinning and one frame where it is spinning. Let's put a ball there, it'll be fine. Now, it would be tempting to have that kind of slowly spin, but that would be a lot more work. I'll just be like that when the character's not flying. And when it spins, we'll just see here. You know, this one, I guess depending on the angle, it might work in a lot of ways. Like it might work in more than one of the head angles. Change its color here to keep track of things easier. Now this, it could be white like wind. Let's change this color. Oh yeah, but if I want it blue, for instance, that should be all blue. I think that'll probably work once it's spinning. Can I get away with 2 frames? Let's take a look. So probably this way. Hello, HPR Shredder. How you doing? Thanks for dropping by. Just working on some hats right now because Carpoon is currently crashing from me trying to save all the different colors. Yeah, doing well. Just work. Yeah. Do you have any hat suggestions? So far, we have a bow, propeller hat, trucker hat, and toque, which I guess is wool hat. And moose antlers. We have moose antlers. Yeah, for the cars. One of my friends, he wanted hats a long time ago, and I figure hats will they'll help differentiate who's who in players. But I've been doing things like trying to keep player placement the same, keeping their same spot. Just making it easier for them. That would be very easy to do with the beanie. So I wanted the toque with kind of like the long flowing long toque. Well, I had it drawn, but a beanie. I remember buying my brother the Enter the Gungeon beanie. That was a pretty funny one. What would a beanie be like? No. This is a beanie would just be kind of it's probably just like whoop. It's kind of like a thimble. Oh man, I know exactly what you're thinking of because of Green Bay Packers. So let's do the beer hat though. You can't. I don't know if you can have like the drink part, but anyway, just be like. Kind of totally make the game rated teen because yeah, that'd be harder to do like that part. cheese head is cheese head would be kind. I think the cheese head one might help with the silhouette issue. It does look a little bit like the harpoon, but yeah, maybe that could go further back. Two tanks of petrol on the side. Yeah, it could be gas to help them out. Yeah, that's not beer, it's just petrol. The thing I like about these hats compared to the propeller hat is they don't require tons of different frames of animation and programming. Yeah, I think cheese head I like. It would be easier to animate along the sides. No, but I think my friend, he suggested selling the hats. I'm like, I'll put a propeller cap on top of the cheese hat. You're talking about like stack. What? It was Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon where you could stack like 10 hats. I haven't thought that far ahead to stack hats. It would be possible. So are you talking about feasibly possible in real life or the game? Because in the game, all you have to do is just like add 10 pixels or whatever. But we'll just show you what that would look like. It'd be like that. Oh no, getting demanding fans. It's like make stacking hats a launch week bonus. If you buy it in launch week, you can stack hats. No, but the hard part would be if you tilt the hats, like if you're moving around. That would be the tricky part, especially with the angles. But if they just stacked and they kind of bounced, like if one hat kind of bounced up and they fall over, that would be an easier solution, I think. Easier in quotes. I'll consider it if you harpoon again, you have multiple hats. Like the crown might be on top of a hat already. That's like stacking hats when you're first. Yeah, GOTE or additional stackable hats. Now, the easy, smarter solution would be if I had different harpoons. Like the wedge of cheese could be a harpoon. Or like harpoon shapes. That'll help the silhouette problem. So I am considering that. Maybe like each of the 4 players has a different harpoon shape. That should help with players too. Hats is just something for fun. Earmuffs or headphones? Well, I love headphones. We run into the Mickey Mouse, the Mickey Mouse type problem with like headphones on Mickey Mouse is basically it, where you don't. They'd be on the side of his head, but his ears are up here. To actually cover the windows, it's kind of tough. Like, I think that'd be fun though. Yeah, since it's only the truck, we always know where that edge is. And let's see here. It is starting to get cooler here. Like in Vancouver, it did feel a little bit like fall the other day while jogging, which makes me worried for biking because biking gets colder a lot quicker. It's like, oh no, I might not be able to jog in shorts and a t-shirt for much longer. So that earmuff should be fuzzy. So a scarf, we got that would I'd have to use a different truck sprite, but like you couldn't like block the windshield. I would think the truck it'd be back here where the scarf is, and like that would be my guess. The winter update. That's one thing I regret doing. Not more seasons. That would be something I would do an update of. Seasons. Brandon, what do you mean? You mean sky? I'm confused. Yeah, but that'd be a neat one with the scarf. I think the scarf, because you could just have it flutter a couple frames, like ooh, the ripple. Oh, the eyes on the headlights. Yeah. Yeah, I could block the windshield because there's no one in the car. Otherwise, it'd be puddles of blood coming out every crush. One thing in testing, some guys were getting crushed in the crusher, but it's like, I don't want to touch this ever again. Like, if you go at a steep enough angle into the crusher and are a bit slow, you get crushed. It turns out. Yeah, no, here's how you do the scarf. Now, the earmuffs, I kind of would want... There's a difference between headphones and earmuffs. I think if it's earmuffs, I would want to make it like fuzzy ones. Kind of, that's basically just the same effect I did for the grass in Park and Panic. And Z, his windshield ear is still cold, unfortunately. Oh, he won't be able to shoulder check anymore. Sunglasses would be very hard to do in Carpoon where the eyes are, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, that'd be fun with the earmuffs and scarf, but in reality, I would have to check in the non-boss art because the harpoon thing is like back here, all the cable. But yeah, I know it could be tucked in behind it. I suppose it's 2020. Are mustaches possible? You know, my brother has a mustache now. I think more people have mustaches now back in 2010. Yeah, I'm a truck must. I've thought of things like, you know, Texas has. I think it's a thing like the cow horns on the front. Like different grills were something I thought about. This is like anything goes time, so it's got to be like one of those little. It's like handlebar mustache. Yeah, you have a huge mustache. Well, you have a beard too, but unless you've shaved off your beard. That'd be one of them. I'll just cut it. You could have the Do that one. Like most in Carpoon though, there's always like it's a cow catcher is what it's called. I forget. It doesn't even have the bars across because it's already the things, but a real one is kind of like that. I thought you could have different variations of that, but what? That one, that one. Could do non-copyright, non-copyright mustache. Can't. You know, if it was like a Pixar, it's kind of like a Pixar movie. No, I never watched all of the Cars movie. Did trucks or cars get married in the Cars movie? Because the idea here, though, is that the alien eyes took over a failed civilization and are on the cars. So I guess that is an aspect of lore that I've thought of. Can you pass on your stats to truck babies? Like, admittedly, admittedly, that's something more I thought of if I make a game about salmon, because you know, Salmon Run is basically literally based off salmon spawning and going. So, car PG. Like I am on a bit of a tactics band right now. I do like tactics games. It would be fun, like being able to harpoon at distance and grab other cars in kind of a turn-based game. But no, for a salmon-based, oh my god, the Carpoon dating sim is it's like April Fool's Carpoon. That I have not played any kind of dating sim type games, admittedly. Like, what is it? I think my friend recommended Doki Doki. No, what is it? Doki Doki Literature Club, I believe its name is, and that kind of looks like a dating game, but apparently it's very different. So that might be one I try, but there we go. That's totally Fire Emblem Awakening is basically a dating game. Yeah, that's kind of the sense I get from that and the mobile version. Anyway, there. Brandon, I read that wrong. You say if you play. I thought you said you go blind, not go in blind. Yeah, it's enough knowing the twist, right? It's like how I have to play Inscription soon enough, probably after Dark Souls, and it's like one of those like I don't want to know it. Now, Little Inferno, which one I did play, and you have that huge twist ending. That was the one I feel like I can say at this point because nobody played it. Nobody wanted to say what happens at the end, so nobody played it. Whoa, Brandon, I didn't. No, this is just nondescript, pointy black mustache. It's not a Wario mustache. That would be like copyright or trademark infringement there. No, not totally not. See, maybe we'll do. See, it's got a little extra bit to it. No, totally different. Oh, I think Truck Scarf would be fun, especially like if there's a winter update with snow. That would be the yellow and purple accents would be the scarf and the earmuffs. Hats could have a different color fairly easily, but I think that's one thing I'll have to see, because if you have one color on the hat and it's different, Oscar, no, no, not Wario. Anyway, whatsoever. Or Waluigi. No, totally different. Totally different. I don't know what you're talking about. Wink. There we go. This one I didn't get quite right. And I have a goal of being able to draw more of the Nintendo characters off memory. I can only basically do Mario from drawing comics over the years. Yeah, it's Mario's mustache, yeah. Well, this is definitely lots of hat ideas now. Thank you, everyone. I think we'll be set for hats. And it's a totally legally distinct original character, Warpoon. Let's see. It's always tempted to draw over like a couple times. Let's just go and try it. Finishing is never fun compared to just mocking up stuff. After the stream, I have to go back and draw 10 frames of every hat. And then I kind of duplicate the middle 8. Although for Scarlet's Bow, I did draw close. It was probably about 12. Some of them I could duplicate. Some of them I had to draw at a different angle. Yeah, that could be better. Oh, the brush size is huge. That's why. Or should it be... No, I think I was right earlier. Pointy little bits. Well, this is where I'm probably just better off drawing a hard edge. No one will see that up in a small size. Now, yeah, in the player select area, I can just draw one of these hats larger, and people can harpoon it to by the paint bucket. That'll work. So earmuffs and like headphones, usually I think they connect on the inside. I'd say this has to go up more here, and they'll be fine. It's kind of like what I was running into with the hat. Man, do we have like 8 hats now? That's crazy. No one said unicorn hat, which is fine. Oh yeah, Hayden, if you're still there, I beat the whatever, that Hydra in Dark Souls. Which I would have beaten earlier, but my Switch froze. It's actually not too hard. Brandon, oh yeah, Brandon, what do you thought was implied? Wario? Oh. That would be like a, oh my god, that would be a unicorn like onesie. Okay, I'm gonna mock it up, but that would be like, we'll go back to blue. They had, I think, a new music video recently for their Pokemon Smash or Pass. Because that, you couldn't harpoon with it on. You'd be like, yeah, the truck would need a spot for the wheel. And well, I'd be like, that would be totally in the way of the harpoon, but and then the horn is the harpoon. Maybe you would need you need some sort of like semi-transparent rainbow color probably on it too, but or some sort of sparkles coming off it, just to make it magical. It can't just be like a white horse. Oh, so they're doing a new Starbomb album. I thought they kind of stopped. Or is this like from songs a few years ago and they're just finally selling it in physical form? Yeah, that'd be like, if it was just the unicorn horn itself. Yeah, it'd be like that. And then you have to have, I don't know, different sparkles would be following you along the way. Okay, so they said the last album was the last one. They changed their minds. Maybe they had a bit of time and had a few ideas they wanted to try. should I don't think I can leave it open. Oh, what could I could try having 3 windows. And I could put one on the top so everyone sees the thumbnail version. There. It's easy to be a perfectionist on some things, but at times you have to say good enough and move on, or you'll be working on it forever. It's like it's my dad saying at the cabin whenever he was working on something. Like, he was almost afraid to do stuff at home, but at the cabin he could always say it's only a cabin, and like renovate up there. This scarf, the trick will be not going out of frame. The trucks are 132 by 128. So pray I never have to hope to upscale them to some ridiculous resolution. But I don't want to get past that, because then it gets harder to match everything and scale it down. So I'll just have a slightly shorter scarf. Oh, now I'm thinking, would it be easier in Carpoon to keep track of your player if your exhaust color was the color of your truck? Like, I was thinking if you had custom exhaust clouds, but the exhaust color itself, maybe. Oh yeah, these I should maybe put it in the middle. Then it's easier to flip them later. Because otherwise they always have to be on that side of the truck. Middle one can be longer. One of these should kind of dip down a bit. Oh, do I do the little? I don't think I have to do the little ends, the two. It's tempting to do these, but that would be so small a game. I think I'll just focus on the bigger details. That might be too much detail. Make this a little bit of a orangey scarf. Make it easier, just fill in the background. Orange and I should know what color goes with it. It's like Vancouver Canucks colors. But that's usually just different shades. Lots of sites have complementary color options. Like blue sometimes goes with yellow, but I don't know about orange. Oh, I could just do strips of bacon. That would work. Oh yeah, that's the final one. I can fill in the gap there. Let's just take a quick. We can animate the scarf quickly. See, you just flip everything. Maybe more that way. I think I didn't make it easy on myself for which way to animate it next. Sure, I'll try this. They both kind of ripple that way. Oh well. I did not expect animated hats. Snow and ice would be kind of easy to do in Carpoon because there's already the spin out feature from going over tiers. But ideally I wanted it so oil would be on the ground if a car was damaged, and then you spin out on oil. Yeah, look how far hats have come in game. Yeah, it's I think it'll be just, I never care too much about customizing characters, but I can understand for a way to keep different for people, and I can save it when the game restarts. Should be easy to keep track. Yeah, that would work, I think. Might shift. One of them shifts a bit too much to the bottom, but there it's like a bacon scarf. If I did this, like if the scarf fluttered, yeah, that's too much. The trucks always kind of move around anyway. Yeah, two frames would be fine. Oh, even more. I guess we can see if we can get the propeller hat put together. Let's see how that animation looks. So then maybe try one more harpoon shape at the end of the day. Let me see, can I find it? Yeah, there's definitely some different harpoon options. Like real... Some of them only have one side to them, which is kind of like on Yerk's Carpoon art. Yeah, his is more like that. Oh, it seems to be different ones for different purposes. That makes sense. Actual fishing with a harpoon, kind of barbaric, but these are cars. Checking the actual harpoon itself, it's only one frame. It's not like these hats where I have to draw them in different frames, so that's one advantage. Okay, let's draw this propeller hat. drawing over the lines for this. It's always weird when Photoshop does this. It'll kind of like smear on a free transform. Yeah, well, on this side it kind of cut it off. Okay. Whoa, there's got a hole in the hat. That's bad. So I'm gonna disable it. Disable the layer mask. Wow, this looks like a weird angle right now. It looks like it should be way more flat. We'll take a look. It's a lot of hats. They can't all be perfect, especially for one people will not see that often. That one has a little bit more detail. We'll just add a bit more to the propeller. I feel like it needs one more frame, which I'm worried about because that's a lot of frames to do. What if it was 1 second? Or 0.1 seconds, not 0.2. Yeah, one more frame. Ooh, thinking of if I have to draw a ton of frames for this propeller hat. Well, whatever. Yeah, I see. I didn't quite turn it enough. We gotta do one like go in this area. Yeah, probably just one more harpoon after that, and then that'll be it for today. And I'll do the much more boring array and saving stuff for the colors that are crashing after. Try to get that done. Players do seem like what John had said. They wanted he says like a lever or lever that the harpoons could pull for options in the start button. Like getting people to do that seems tough. And one thing too during the play session, it was like 3 to 4 players is a lot more entertaining for them than just 2 or 1. That's kind of where just having friends to play with comes in handy. A lot more chaotic. And maybe something I have to accept in Carpoon just the way it is. Think more about the essence moving forward in games and more prototyping. Falling out of the gun. No, but I think the bosses should be fun. If I do get to them. It'll be fun for me to make. If I use pathfinding, like have them go to different points and maybe just charge at the player. Yeah, because they don't... I think if they just took like 3 hits in a crusher, that'd be good. Boo. This feels like too many lines compared to what I've been doing. And some wind. It's hard to remember the stroke size I was using. Like normally I just keep it to 2 when doing things. There's already the width from pen pressure to deal with. I'm sure a lot of people just ignore that. Oh. Sneeze averted. A little bit more size, that should do it. Let's see how this looks. I don't know if that's the best color, but just can't be a white background here. Wow. That's going backwards. There we go. Oh yeah, we can show the truck now. not jumping to where it wants to go in the layers. That's too bad. So the blue might be a little too saturated, although when I look at the small size, I cannot see anything different. So yeah, there we go. There's propeller hat, and here we can duplicate that a couple times, then we can stop it briefly and try it. See what it looks like when it's stopped and starting. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Now, hopefully I can reuse those propeller frames for almost all of them. And that is like a stacked hat if I was doing that. Because it could be separate. Oh, yeah. Let's get the whole truck in there and we'll play it. Excellent. Okay, let's see. So Harpoon in Carpoon. We'll just turn off this for a second. It's kind of drawn up in 3 parts. Where do you go? Where are you? So I had a base color, and I have shading for some reason. And that's probably just not to change the colors. And I have the outline there. So a Harpoon always looks like that in Carpoon. We can jump to the sideways truck. Let me label it maybe. Did my computer just do something? Oh, my computer internet must have cut out briefly. It's getting to a point where I have to reset my switch. Well, it's not a router. Well, I guess it is a Wi-Fi router. Reset the Wi-Fi router for every one of these. I don't know if Windows is like secretly updating or some program is like Steam has just gone, oh, we just updated every program ever. Like, thanks, Steam. But I have a bit more energy today than yesterday. Probably that sleeping 10 hours 2 days in a row helps. Don't ask me where the cable makes it from here to here in a Carpoon truck. We kind of don't. I don't want to adjust the size. We don't quite have the range to draw. I'll just make a bigger one. So I don't get all kind of, like handcuffed or stuck inside the range. Oh yeah, I've been drawing and not showing you. Great, smart. Well, anyway, so this is what trying to do the one harpoon here before I made it ending at one. So that's the normal one, kind of. It's basically treated as top down instead of the usual sideways perspective. That way it can rotate in any way. Now, some harpoons are kind of one-sided. So we could do a one-sided harpoon. You could see more of the eyes more often. Some of them have more spikes. Like, I think that's maybe too wide. If we went that's a Christmas tree. That is that's just a Christmas tree. Let me take a look at some of the ideas. Probably just having more like a pointy one. Like that'd be somewhat different. It's an actual harpoon. Some of them have these little bits that stick out. I guess when they stick out, that means the harpoon can't go back in, which is sad. Or like it can't get out, which is sad when I think about whales and stuff. I love whales. Like as a kid learning about them. I feel like that's a little much on two sides. It's more like one for one side. And we could just do maybe one of these. There is a way to duplicate what you're drawing to like mirror it. That's something I don't do too often. Kind of, if you have it too symmetrical, it sometimes looks a little weird in my opinion, but it's probably a smart thing to do to avoid having to flip. That might not. Might have to be more thin to be more different than the original one. Yeah, okay, just one more difference that makes it makes the player stand out more rather than just color. And the harpoon is easier to do than hats, so just an idea there. Well, I think that will wrap it up today. I have to take care of a couple more things. Hopefully, I can get the boring issue, that is just saving player colors correctly, working in Carpoon to avoid all those crash bugs. One of the things, I'm matching them from their player controller spot, but then there's also the keyboard and mouse. So the keyboard and mouse was -1 that I was referring to, and kind of crashing different arrays. But yeah, thanks for all the hat ideas, everyone. And hope you all have a great day. And I'll be back probably on Thursday with UFO 50 to check that out. Maybe in the afternoon. And if I try these streams on Tuesday because it's kind of a good day in the week, but if it's better on Saturday, I'll consider it. I do like to kind of enjoy the weekend sometimes, but and I'm pretty tired usually Saturday morning after exercise on Friday, but I'm willing to consider it. And no, thanks everyone. Support Carpoon if you want. Wishlist it, and if you haven't already, on Steam. And I'll try to update the early access version on itch.io soon. Bye everyone.